Have you ever wondered about the various decoys used in Conquest Earth dogfighting? Well, buckle up, because we're about to dive into an incredible world of deception and cunning strategy. Decoys. They are the unsung heroes of the aerial combat world. On the battlefield of Conquest Aerth, where the skies are filled with the thunderous roars of warbirds, these cunning devices play a crucial role. They're not just about misdirection, they're about strategy, survival, and the sharp, thrilling dance of dogfighting. In the high-stakes arena of aerial combat, decoys are the elusive shadow, the deceptive echo that confuses and distracts the enemy. They are the clever feint that sends a missile harmlessly spiraling into empty sky instead of its intended target. From flares to chaffs, from mirages to advanced electronic countermeasures, decoys in Conquest Earth dogfighting encompass a wide range of tactics and technologies, each with its unique role and purpose. Decoys can be as simple as a flare, a burst of intense light and heat that draws off heat-seeking missiles. Or they can be as complex as a projected mirage, a photorealistic illusion of a warbird, complete with radar signature that can fool even the most advanced targeting systems. But it's not just about the technology. Using decoys effectively requires a deep understanding of the battlefield, the enemy, and the intricate dance of aerial combat. It's about timing, positioning, and knowing when to deploy that flare or launch that mirage. It's about turning the tide of a dogfight with a well-placed deception. And the terrain, oh, the terrain. Whether it's the flat expanse of a desert plain, the jagged peaks of a snow-covered mountain, or the twisting canyons of a volcanic landscape, mastering the environment is key to using decoys effectively. An experienced pilot can use the terrain to their advantage, hiding in the folds of the earth, disappearing into the clouds, or blending into a flock of birds. So, are you ready to explore the world of decoys? Let's take a closer look at each one of them. Imagine being in a dogfight. Missiles are locking onto your tail, and you need a quick escape. That's where flares and chaffs come into play. These are the unsung heroes of Conquest Earth dogfighting, your best friends in the heat of battle. Flares, for instance, are a type of countermeasure that emit intense heat and light, designed to distract heat-seeking missiles. There's a wide variety, each with its unique properties. Take the skylight flare, for example. It bursts into a brilliant light that mimics the intensity of the sun, causing incoming missiles to lose their lock on your aircraft. Or the sunburst flare, which works similarly, but with a broader light spectrum, making it more effective against advanced missile systems. Then there's the sunblast flare, a more potent flare that not only confuses the missile's heat sensors, but also creates a temporary blinding effect on enemy pilots. It's like turning on high beams in the middle of the night. Now let's talk about chaffs. These are small pieces of radar-reflective material that you eject into the air to confuse radar-guided missiles. The idea is to create a cloud of false targets for the missile to chase, allowing you to slip away undetected. Among the various types of chaffs, the Michelangelo chaff stands out. Named after the legendary artist, it's a specially crafted chaff that creates a complex radar signature, fooling even the most sophisticated missile systems. It's like creating an intricate piece of art in the sky, only this art could save your life. In the dance of aerial combat, flares and chaffs are your pirouettes and grangettes, the moves that can change the tide of battle in an instant. They might seem simple, but mastering their use is an art in itself. And just like that, you've turned a certain hit into a miss. But flares and chaffs are just the tip of the iceberg. Now, let's take a look at some of the more advanced decoys. Ever heard of mirage decoys, or using terrain to your advantage? Mirage decoys are a game-changer in Conquest Earth dogfighting. They use advanced technology to project a realistic image of your aircraft, fooling enemy radar and visual systems. The projected mirage is a simple yet effective decoy that creates an image of your craft, sending enemies on a wild goose chase. The photorealistic mirage takes it a step further. This decoy uses high-definition projection technology to create an incredibly lifelike image of your aircraft. It's so convincing that even seasoned pilots might be fooled. And then there's the pseudo-life mirage. This decoy doesn't just project an image of your aircraft, it simulates the heat signature and radar profile of your craft, making it nearly indistinguishable from the real thing. But decoys aren't just about technology. Sometimes, the environment itself can be your best ally. In Conquest Aerth dogfighting, you can use the terrain to your advantage. Flying low over natural terrain, whether it's flat or undulating, can help you evade enemy radar. In a mountainous or canyon terrain, you can use the natural cover to hide from enemy sight and radar. City terrain provides a different kind of cover. Skyscrapers, towers, and other tall structures can be used to lose pursuing enemies, but be careful, as navigating through a city requires great skill and precision. Lastly, the electrical storm. This natural phenomenon can be a double-edged sword in dogfighting. On one hand, the intense electrical activity can disrupt enemy radar and communications. On the other hand, it can also affect your systems, so use this decoy wisely. So not only can you evade missiles, but you can also trick your opponents into chasing ghosts. Mastering these advanced decoys and using the environment to your advantage will make you a formidable opponent in any Conquest Aerth dogfight. In the world of Conquest Aerth dogfighting, sometimes you have to fight fire with fire, and that's where ECM pods and jamming techniques come into play. In the heat of battle, it's not enough to simply evade your enemy's attacks. You have to take active measures to throw them off your trail. This is where the concept of electronic countermeasure pods, or ECM pods, comes into the picture. These devices are designed to confuse enemy radar and disrupt their tracking systems, making it harder for them to lock onto your aircraft. ECM pods come in a variety of types, each with its own unique capabilities. The broadband ECM pod, for instance, is designed to jam a wide range of frequencies, disrupting multiple enemy systems at once. It's like throwing a handful of sand into the gears of your enemy's machine. The advanced ECM pod, on the other hand, is more specialized, targeting specific systems with high precision. It's more akin to a surgeon's scalpel, cutting through the enemy's defenses with surgical precision. But ECM pods are just one part of the arsenal. There are also various jamming techniques that can be employed. Radar jammers, for instance, work by emitting signals that interfere with enemy radar, effectively creating a smokescreen that makes it difficult for the enemy to get a clear picture of the battlefield. Infrared jammers take a similar approach, but instead of disrupting radar, they target heat-seeking systems. By emitting a flurry of heat signatures, they create a cloud of decoys that can throw off incoming missiles, giving you the chance to make a quick escape. These are just a few examples of the advanced countermeasures available in Conquest Aerth dogfighting. Each one is a tool in your toolbox, a weapon in your arsenal, and learning to use them effectively can mean the difference between victory and defeat. With these decoys, you're not just avoiding danger, you're actively disrupting your enemy's offensive capabilities. So now you know the secret weapons of Conquest Aerth dogfighting. It's not just about speed and firepower, but strategy and deception. From flares and chaffs to mastering your environment and utilizing advanced countermeasures, we've taken a deep dive into the art of deception. It's clear that in the high-stakes game of Conquest Aerth dogfighting, knowing how to effectively use decoys is a vital skill every pilot needs. These deceptive tools, as varied and complex as they are, all serve a single purpose: to create a moment of confusion, a fleeting second of uncertainty in your adversary's mind. Whether it's the blinding brilliance of a sunblast flare, the radar-cluttering chaos of David Chaff, or the bewildering display of a panorama drone, each decoy is a lifeline in the heat of battle. But remember, decoys aren't just about distraction, they're also about strategy. Using the terrain to your advantage, whether it's darting through a volcanic geyser or disappearing into a nimbus cloud, can turn the tide of any dogfight. And let's not forget about the advanced countermeasures. The powerful broadband ECM array, the rattling disturbance of a death rattler parachute, or the disorienting effect of a genie disruptor, these tools are not just about survival, they're about taking control of the battle. Yet none of these tools would mean anything without the cunning and creativity of the pilot behind the controls. It's the pilot who chooses when to release a flare, where to deploy chaff, and how to maneuver through the environment. It's the pilot who turns these tools from mere devices into the art of aerial deception. So, as you take to the skies, remember the lessons learned here today. Master your environment, understand your decoys, and never underestimate the power of a well-placed deception. Remember, in the world of aerial combat, the best way to survive is to make sure your enemy is always guessing. Stay safe and stay elusive, pilots.